Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I failed. Many times, I failed school exams, got rejected from jobs, and was ignored by investors. I tried to get into university and failed. I tried again and failed once more. If I had given up back then, the world would have never known Alibaba. And do you know what I learned? The first step is always the hardest. The fear of uncertainty, the fear of failure, the fear of what others will think, these are the things that hold us back. But I say this, if you don't try, you will never know what could have happened. Most people wait for the perfect moment, but the truth is, it never comes. When I decided to create a website to connect small Chinese businesses to the world, people laughed at me. "Jack, you know nothing about technology," they said. And they were right. But I also knew that if I didn't start, I would never learn. If not now, when? If not me, who? The world does not wait for those who hesitate. The first steps are the loneliest. When I started Alibaba, there were 18 of us in a small apartment. No money, no support, no guarantees of success. But we had a vision, and that was enough to keep us going. The first step will never be perfect, but it is necessary. It is what separates those who dream from those who achieve. Imagine you want to climb a mountain. You can spend years studying maps, choosing the best equipment, and waiting for the ideal conditions. But none of that matters if you never take the first step. Many people spend their lives planning, but never start. And before they realize it, time has passed. Success does not happen in thought. It happens in action. So I ask you, what is the first step you have been postponing? Do you have a dream, an idea, a goal? Is the fear of failure paralyzing you? Remember, starting is hard, but continuing becomes easier. Every step brings you closer to the top. The only unforgivable mistake is never moving forward. I have been rejected more times than I can count. I was turned down by the police. I was the only one rejected out of 24 applicants at KFC. Harvard said no to me 10 times. Each rejection hurt. But do you know what I learned? Rejection is not the end. It is a test of resilience. What you do after hearing no determines your future. Most people quit, but those who persist create something extraordinary. The world is full of stories of rejection. J.K. Rowling had Harry Potter rejected by 12 publishers. Walt Disney was fired for lack of creativity. Elon Musk was mocked for his ideas about electric cars and space exploration, but they kept going. They did not let no define who they were. The same was true for me. Every closed door taught me to find another way in. If you have never been rejected, it means you have never tried anything big. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is part of the journey. I often say, when you're poor, if you have a dream, you never feel poor. Having a dream and persisting in it is what keeps us going. Every rejection I received was a reminder that I needed to improve, learn, and try again. People who quit after the first no never discover what they could have achieved. When I started Alibaba, I looked for investors. Almost all of them rejected me. They said e-commerce would never work in China. If I had accepted that answer, Alibaba wouldn't exist today. But I believed in it and kept trying. Rejection is not a reason to stop. It is a reason to get better. Those who persist will one day look back and realize that every no was simply a step towards something greater. If I had listened to everything people said about me, Alibaba would never have existed. You don't understand technology. You don't know how to run a business. This will never work. I heard these things all the time, but there was one thing I understood better than anyone: the power of belief. The world will only believe in you once you prove your worth, but to get there, you must believe first. When I started talking about e-commerce in China, people laughed. The internet was slow, consumers didn't trust online shopping, and banks didn't believe in digital transactions. But I saw a future where small businesses could sell to the entire world. I had no technical knowledge, but I had a clear vision, and that was enough to keep going. Great ideas always seem absurd at first. Elon Musk was ridiculed for wanting to take humans to Mars. Steve Jobs was told that Apple would never succeed. Innovation does not come from acceptance. It comes from persistence. When someone doubts you, use it as a reminder. There is still something to prove. If you want to catch the rabbit, don't change the rabbit, change yourself. Many people give up because they wait for external approval, but the world does not reward those who wait, it rewards those who act. I didn't know how to code, but I gathered people who did. I wasn't a great businessman, but I learned from my mistakes. Confidence does not come from perfect knowledge, but from the willingness to keep going, even when everything seems uncertain. In the end, it doesn't matter how many people doubt you. What matters is your ability to move forward, even when no one else sees what you see. If you have a dream, hold on to it. Time will show who was right. Many people look at giant companies like Alibaba and assume that success happened overnight. But the truth is, my team and I spent years without investment, without guarantees, only with persistence. People often think success is a single event, a big breakthrough, a lucky moment. But it's not. Success is a journey filled with obstacles, failures, and lessons along the way. When we started Alibaba, we had nothing. No money, no resources, no government support, just an idea and a small team willing to work hard. There were moments when it seemed impossible, when giving up felt like the logical choice. But we kept moving forward. The path to success is long, and the ones who keep walking, even when they can't see the end, are the ones who go the farthest. Many entrepreneurs fail because they expect immediate results. If they don't see success quickly, they assume it's not meant to be. But I say, if you want to catch the rabbit, don't change the rabbit, change yourself. Success is not about luck, it's about patience and continuous learning. The world rewards those who stay in the game, even when the odds seem against them. Look at the greatest athletes, musicians, or innovators. None of them achieved success overnight. Michael Jordan didn't make his high school basketball team. Oprah was told she wasn't fit for television. They succeeded because they embraced the journey, the struggles, the growth, the small wins that eventually led to something greater. If you want lasting success, don't look for shortcuts. Build something with a strong foundation. Keep going when others stop. And most importantly, enjoy the process, because the lessons you learn along the way will be more valuable than the destination itself. When I first talked about Alibaba, people told me it would never work. They laughed at the idea of e-commerce in China. They said I wasn't a businessman, that I didn't understand technology. And they were right. I wasn't the smartest or the most experienced. But I refused to let criticism define my future. Instead, I used it as fuel to prove them wrong. If you look at the world's most successful people, they all have one thing in common. They were criticized before they were celebrated. Elon Musk was mocked for launching Tesla and SpaceX. Jeff Bezos was told that Amazon would never make a profit. Steve Jobs was fired from his own company. But they all ignored the noise and focused on their vision. The moment you start something new, people will question you. They will doubt you, criticize you, and tell you to give up. But remember, nobody criticizes those who do nothing. Criticism is a sign that you're doing something worth noticing. If you let it stop you, you're handing over control of your life to others. Instead of fearing criticism, embrace it. Use it to refine your ideas, to strengthen your mindset, to prove to yourself that you can overcome any obstacle. The greatest achievements in history were made by people who ignored the doubters and kept going. Your job is not to please everyone. Your job is to build something meaningful. Let people talk. While they criticize, you keep building. And one day, they will have no choice but to acknowledge what you've created. If there is one dangerous illusion, it's the idea of instant success. We see millionaires, famous companies, and great leaders, but we forget the years of hard work that came before. Alibaba didn't make a profit for years. Amazon took almost a decade to become successful. Real success is not an event. It's the result of daily effort, repeated over time. When I started Alibaba, we faced endless challenges. Some days, it felt like nothing was working. We had no investors, no support, and no clear path forward. But we kept moving step by step. If we had expected instant results, we would have quit before we even got started. If not now, when? If not me, who? The best things in life take time. The problem today is that people want results without effort. They see someone successful and assume they were lucky. But luck is just preparation meeting opportunity. The ones who keep working, even when no one is watching, are the ones who create real success. Every step you take matters. Every small achievement builds momentum. Just like a tree takes years to grow strong, your dreams need time to develop. If you rush, you might miss the foundation that keeps everything together. Be patient, keep learning, keep improving. Success is not about speed, it's about consistency. The ones who last the longest are the ones who win in the end. Many people never take risks because they are afraid to fail. But let me tell you something. Failure is not the real enemy. The real enemy is the fear that keeps you from trying. If you are too scared to fail, you will never take the first step. And without that step, success is impossible. I have failed more times than I can count. I was rejected by dozens of jobs. I failed in school. I was told Alibaba was a bad idea, but I kept going. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is not intelligence or talent. It's the ability to keep moving forward despite failure. Think about Thomas Edison. He failed thousands of times before inventing the light bulb. If he had been afraid of failure, the world might still be in darkness. The greatest breakthroughs come from those who embrace failure as part of the process. Failure teaches you what doesn't work. It forces you to improve, to adapt, to try again with more knowledge than before. If you never fail, it means you never challenged yourself enough. Every failure brings you one step closer to success. So, don't fear failure. Fear standing still. Fear looking back in 10 years and realizing you never even tried. Because in the end, regret is much worse than any failure you will ever face. Regret is heavier than failure. Many people live their entire lives wondering, what if? What if they had started that business? What if they had taken that opportunity? What if they had followed their dreams instead of their fears? The truth is, you will never know what's possible unless you take action. When I started Alibaba, I knew nothing about technology or business. I was an English teacher, but I had a vision, and I knew that if I didn't try, I would regret it for the rest of my life. I wasn't afraid of failing. I was afraid of never knowing what could have been. That fear pushed me forward, even when everyone doubted me. Most people wait for the right moment to start, but there is no perfect moment. If you keep waiting for the stars to align, you will wait forever. The best time to start was yesterday. The second best time is now. If not now, when? If not me, who? Even if you fail, you will gain experience, skills, and knowledge that will help you in the future. Every attempt teaches you something valuable. But if you never try, you will stay exactly where you are, wondering what could have been while others move forward. The biggest regrets in life don't come from things we did. They come from things we didn't do. If you have an idea, go after it. If you have a dream, chase it. You don't want to look back one day and realize you never even tried. One of the biggest lies people tell themselves is, I'll start when the time is right. But here's the truth. The perfect moment doesn't exist. If you wait for the right conditions, the right resources, or the right connections, you will never start. Success belongs to those who take action despite uncertainty. When I started Alibaba, China had no internet infrastructure. There were no online payment systems, no trust in e-commerce. If I had waited for the perfect time to start, Alibaba would not exist today. We built everything from the ground up, step by step, while others were still waiting for the conditions to improve. The world is constantly changing. Technology evolves, markets shift, and opportunities come and go. Those who hesitate are left behind. The most successful people in history did not wait for the right time. They created it. If you don't take action, someone else will. Some people spend years preparing but never execute. They research, analyze, and plan endlessly, thinking that one day everything will be perfect, but they never move forward. Meanwhile, those who take small steps each day eventually build something real. Stop waiting. The conditions will never be ideal. The best way to prepare for the future is to start creating it today. Take the first step. Everything else will fall into place along the way. At the end of the day, there is only one thing that separates those who succeed from those who don't: persistence. Intelligence, talent, and luck can help, but nothing replaces the ability to keep going, even when things get tough. I was not the smartest in my class. I was not the most talented entrepreneur, but I refused to quit. I applied for jobs and was rejected 30 times. I tried to get investors for Alibaba and was turned down by almost all of them. I faced challenges that made success seem impossible, but I kept moving forward. Think about the greatest achievers in history. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team. J.K. Rowling was rejected by publishers. Steve Jobs was fired from his own company. But they all had one thing in common: they never gave up. Most people quit too soon. They try something, face obstacles, and decide it's not worth it. But the people who win are those who keep pushing, who see failure as a lesson instead of a stopping point. If you want to catch the rabbit, don't change the rabbit, change yourself. The road to success is long, and the journey is not easy. But if you keep going, if you keep learning, if you refuse to quit, you will eventually reach your destination. The only way to truly fail is to stop trying. When I started Alibaba, we had no investors, no government support, and no guarantee of success. But instead of seeing these as reasons to give up, I saw them as opportunities. Challenges force us to be creative, to think differently, to find solutions where others see problems. Most people see obstacles as barriers, but I believe they are tests. Every successful entrepreneur has faced difficulties. What separates them from the rest is their ability to adapt. If you want to catch the rabbit, don't change the rabbit, change yourself. The world is not going to change for you, but you can change to fit the world. Many of the greatest innovations in history came from difficult situations. The companies that survive are not the ones with the best resources. They are the ones that know how to adapt. Every problem contains an opportunity for those who are willing to look for it. If you're facing a challenge right now, don't see it as a roadblock. Ask yourself, how can I turn this into an advantage? Some of the best ideas come from solving your own struggles. The bigger the problem, the bigger the reward for those who solve it. Your struggles today are shaping you for the future. What seems impossible now may become your greatest success later. Keep going. Your biggest opportunity might be hidden inside your biggest challenge. Technology, business, and even dreams change constantly. When I first saw the internet, I knew it would change everything. But most people ignored it. They thought it was a passing trend. If I had listened to them, Alibaba would have never existed. The future belongs to those who see change before it happens. In the next 20 years, 50% of today's jobs will disappear. But new opportunities will emerge, jobs we can't even imagine yet. The question is, are you prepared? If you only focus on what exists now, you will struggle when things change. You have to be ready to evolve. Companies that fail usually make one mistake: they refuse to change. Look at Nokia, Kodak, or Blockbuster. They were once giants, but they didn't adapt. Meanwhile, companies like Tesla, Amazon, and Alibaba kept innovating. The difference is mindset. Adaptability is more valuable than experience. The world rewards those who learn new skills, embrace new ideas, and take risks. If you are stuck in old ways of thinking, you will be left behind by those who are ready to change. The future is not something you wait for. It's something you create. If you want to be successful, don't just react to change. Stay ahead of it. Keep learning, keep growing, and always be ready for the next opportunity. Before I was an entrepreneur, I was a teacher. And one thing I learned is that education is the foundation of success. But education is not just about degrees or diplomas. It's about continuous learning. The world is changing faster than ever, and those who stop learning will be left behind. I have always believed that the best investment you can make is in yourself. When I started Alibaba, I didn't have money, technology, or business experience. But I had knowledge. I studied, I observed, I learned from my mistakes. If you want to catch the rabbit, don't change the rabbit, change yourself. Growth comes from within. Some people spend their money on expensive cars, luxury items, or status symbols. But the richest people in the world all have one habit in common. They read, they learn, they expand their minds. Bill Gates reads 50 books a year. Warren Buffett spends hours every day studying. Success is built on knowledge. The most dangerous thing you can believe is that you already know enough. The moment you stop learning, you stop growing. Every industry, every skill, every market is evolving. If you are not improving yourself, you are falling behind. If you want a better future, start today. Read books. Listen to experts. Surround yourself with people who challenge you. The more you learn, the more opportunities you will see. Knowledge is the only investment that guarantees returns for life. I was never the smartest person in the room. In fact, I failed many subjects in school. But one thing I had was determination. I was willing to work harder, learn faster, and keep going when others quit. And in the end, that made all the difference. Many people believe that success is about talent, but talent without persistence is useless. I have seen brilliant people fail because they gave up too soon. And I have seen average people succeed because they refuse to quit. The world doesn't belong to the smartest. It belongs to those who keep going. Think about sports. Michael Jordan wasn't born a champion. He practiced longer and pushed himself harder than anyone else. The same is true for business, creativity, and leadership. Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. I always tell my employees, it's okay if you're not the best, but it's not okay if you don't try your best. If you are willing to outwork, outlearn, and outlast your competition, you will always come out ahead. Forget about being the best. Focus on being the most consistent, the most disciplined, the most resilient. In the long run, determination will always win over talent. If Thomas Edison had given up after failing thousands of times, we wouldn't have the light bulb. If Michael Jordan had accepted his rejection from the basketball team, he wouldn't have become a legend. Failure is not something to fear. It's something to learn from. I failed many times before creating Alibaba. I was rejected by jobs, universities, and investors, but I never saw failure as the final result. Instead, I treated it as a lesson. Every failure gave me new knowledge, a new perspective, a new strategy. If you want to catch the rabbit, don't change the rabbit, change yourself. Most people give up after failing a few times, but failure is part of success, not the opposite of it. The biggest breakthroughs in history came from people who failed and kept going. If you are not failing, it means you are not trying hard enough. Every setback is an opportunity to improve. Instead of asking, "Why did this happen to me?" ask, "What can I learn from this?" Your failures will teach you more than your successes ever will. The only real failure is quitting. As long as you keep going, you are still in the game. And one day, all your failures will add up to something great. In the early days of Alibaba, many people left because they didn't believe in the vision. But the ones who stayed built something incredible. The people around you can either lift you up or pull you down. Choose carefully. If you are surrounded by negativity, doubt, and fear, it will affect your mindset. But if you surround yourself with people who challenge you, inspire you, and believe in you, you will go much further. Environment matters more than talent. Look at any great success story, and you will find a strong team behind it. Steve Jobs had Steve Wozniak. Elon Musk has some of the brightest engineers in the world. No one succeeds alone. Your circle defines your future. It's not just about finding successful people. It's about finding people who share your mindset, people who push you to improve, who celebrate your wins, and who support you through your failures. That is the kind of energy that fuels greatness. If you want to succeed, build your tribe wisely. Surround yourself with believers, doers, and dreamers. The right people will make the impossible seem possible. Many businesses focus on investors, profits, and competition. But I believe success comes from one thing: taking care of your customers. If you take care of them, they will take care of your business. At Alibaba, I always told my team, customers first, employees second, shareholders third. Many investors in Wall Street didn't like this idea, but I didn't care. If your customers are happy, your business will grow. If they are not, nothing else matters. The world is full of companies that ignored their customers, and they no longer exist. Blockbuster refused to change, while Netflix listened. Kodak underestimated digital photography, while new companies adapted. Success is about understanding what people need and delivering it better than anyone else. I never wanted Alibaba to be just another company. I wanted it to solve real problems. I wanted small businesses in China to have a way to reach the world. That focus on customers is why we succeeded. Never forget who you are serving. If you build something valuable for people, they will trust you, support you, and help you grow. Your customer is your best investor. When I first talked about e-commerce in China, people laughed. Nobody will buy online, they said. China is not ready. But I believed in it. Every great innovation starts as an idea that seems impossible. Elon Musk was laughed at for wanting to build electric cars and send people to Mars. Steve Jobs was told Apple wouldn't work. Jeff Bezos was told online shopping had no future. The world doubts before it believes. If you have an idea that people don't understand, that's a good sign. It means you are thinking differently. It means you are seeing something that others don't. Innovation always looks crazy at first. The difference between success and failure is simple. Those who succeed keep going, even when people don't believe in them. If you stop because of criticism, you are letting others decide your future. Trust your vision. Keep building. One day, the same people who doubted you will call you a genius. I did not come from a wealthy family. I did not study at an elite university. I faced more rejections than I can count. But I never used these things as excuses. Life is not fair, but that does not mean you cannot succeed. The question is not whether the world gives you opportunities. It's whether you create your own. Many people waste time complaining about what they don't have. They blame the government, the economy, or their background. But the truth is, complaining changes nothing. Action does. Instead of focusing on what you lack, focus on what you can do with what you have. When I started Alibaba, we had no connections, no investors, no technology. But we had passion, vision, and determination. We worked with what we had and turned it into something bigger. If not now, when? If not me, who? The only way to change your situation is to take responsibility for it. The most successful people in the world didn't start with perfect conditions. They started with problems. And they found solutions. That is the difference between those who win and those who don't. You may not control where you come from, but you control where you are going. Life is not fair, but that doesn't mean you can't win. Many people dream of success, but do nothing today to achieve it. They say, one day, I will start my business. One day, I will take that risk. One day, I will chase my dream. But success is not something that happens in the future. It is built in the present. When I started Alibaba, I had no guarantees. I didn't know if it would work, but I knew that waiting would not change anything. If I wanted a different future, I had to take action today. Success belongs to those who do something now, not those who just think about it. Some people wait for the right time, but there is no right time. If you keep waiting for the perfect moment, you will never start. If you want to catch the rabbit, don't change the rabbit, change yourself. The moment you begin, you start shaping your future. Every big achievement starts with a small action. Writing a book starts with one sentence. Building a company starts with one decision. The future is created by what you do now, not by what you promise to do later. If you want success, stop planning and start acting. The best way to predict your future is to build it, starting today.
Jack Ma's journey is nothing short of extraordinary. He wasn't born into privilege, he didn't have connections, and he wasn't the smartest in the room. In fact, he failed school exams multiple times, was rejected from Harvard 10 times, and was the only candidate out of 24 rejected by KFC. Yet, despite all of this, he built Alibaba into one of the largest companies in the world. How? By following one simple rule: never give up on your dreams. In this powerful talk, Jack Ma shared life-changing lessons on resilience, success, and overcoming failure. He revealed why rejection is not the end, but a test of perseverance. He explained why talent alone is never enough, and why determination is the real key to success. His story proves that success isn't about luck. It's about taking action, adapting to change, and never letting criticism stop you. Most people wait for the perfect moment to start something big. But according to Jack Ma, the perfect moment doesn't exist. If you keep waiting, you'll wake up one day and realize that time has passed you by. He challenges us to act now, to embrace failure, and to turn every obstacle into an opportunity. Jack Ma also warns that the world is changing faster than ever. In the next 20 years, 50% of today's jobs will disappear. The winners of the future will not be those who complain about change, but those who adapt and learn new skills. This is why he believes continuous learning is the best investment you can make. If you stop learning, you stop growing. His insights go beyond business. They apply to every aspect of life. Whether you want to build a company, achieve personal growth, or develop an unstoppable mindset, these lessons will transform the way you think. He shares the one rule that separates winners from losers, and why most people fail simply because they quit too soon. At the heart of Jack Ma's message is a powerful truth. Success is not a destination, it's a journey. The people who go the farthest in life are not necessarily the smartest or the luckiest. They're the ones who never stop moving forward. So, if you've ever felt stuck, if you've ever doubted yourself, or if you've ever wondered whether you're capable of achieving great things, then this talk is for you. Jack Ma's words will inspire you to take action, push past failure, and create the future you truly want. Everything you've just heard from Jack Ma is more than just advice. It's a blueprint for success. But here's the truth. Knowledge alone won't change your life. Action will. How many times have you waited for the perfect moment to start something, only to realize that years have passed? How many dreams have you let slip away because of fear, doubt, or rejection? Now is the time to change that. Stop waiting. Stop hesitating. Take the first step, no matter how small. Rejection is not a reason to quit. It's a sign that you're on the right path. Failure is not the end. It's a lesson. The most successful people in the world are not the ones who never failed, but the ones who never stopped trying. Which of Jack Ma's lessons resonated with you the most? What's one thing you can start doing today to move closer to your goals? Share your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear from you. And if you ever need motivation, come back and watch this again. If you found this valuable, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, because if you don't, you might never find this video again. Turn on notifications so you don't miss the next life-changing lesson. And if you're ready to take your journey even further, watch Jack Ma's Abundance Mindset. Spend time improving yourself. Next, it could be exactly what you need to hear today.